Toots and the Maytals. That was the first artist that I met as a youth. Jackie Mittoo was a star. The Gaylords had left now because even before them, the Wailers had left. You know, actually, when I went there, I didn't meet the Wailers.
You didn't meet them at this?
Not Studio One. After those people left Studio One, I was involved. I was the one doing auditioning too. I'm here, this and Burning Spear. You're in the presence of the King of the Reggae Basslines.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today, I have quite possibly one of the most special people that's ever walked through my door in the studio. This is the first order of distinction individual to be talking about. This man has been recording music from in the 60s until right now, 2024. You know, we have in the building today, we have Mr. Leroy Sibbles in the building today. What's going on, big boss?
Yeah, I'm here and happy to be here. And you don't know, it's muscles time, you know.
from you say it's my time.
Yes.
It's definitely our time together.
Definitely.
You understand?
Yes.
As I told you when you came in, I've been trying to put this together from 2022.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but the time is right now.
Yeah, man.
You understand?
Yeah, it's been simmering. Now it's sharing, you know.
Ready to go.
Food cook. Yes. Good luck.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know you're original Trenchtown man.
Originally,
All
yes.
right. What was it like growing up in Trenchtown back then?
Oh, it was beautiful life for me personally. I can, you know, speak of, you know, I had a good time because as a ghetto youth, my dad wasn't badly off, you know. So, and I grew up really with most of the time I spent growing up was with my mom, my great-grandmother, females, you know. That's why I always hail the females, enough respect all the way, you know.
Definitely.
Yes, man. And my dad could always support and, you know, give his support too. I wasn't with him all the time, but I spent a few times with him too and was proud of him being who he was, you know, at that time. Trenchtown was very nice at that time. You know, there wasn't much guns because that was the early days. You know, people would fight with mostly knives and stone, you know. Yeah, man, throwing missiles at each other.
Wow.
Yeah, you know. And the music was just in its early stage. So it was great. Good times. My mom, you know, my grandmother really, because my mom was very young, you know, so she was up and about. But I most of my time was with my great-grandmother, Emmeline Williams. Enough respect, may she rest in peace. Love my great-grandmother, who loved me more than anything else in the world, you know. And she would give me all the support I needed too, you know. Yeah, man. You know, she used to sell, she was a seller or an inkler.
Okay.
You know, she sell bushel basket of mango, a bushel basket that could hold you, you know.
That's a big basket.
Hell of a basket, man. I'm telling you. And she would sell a lot of fruits, you know, and stuff. Yeah, so I wasn't, you know, off like most other kids were most unfortunate, you know, that they couldn't find a meal as regular as I could, you know. But apart from that, we lived good. Place was nice. My great-grandmother, she would be taking food. That's how we used to live. She would take food to our next door neighbor, and they would, on Sundays, you know, and they would be passing food back over, and that's, you know what I mean.
It was a real community vibe.
There you go, you know.
Everybody's looking out for each other and making
man.
sure that they're
African village life. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yes.
Who else were you top Trenchtown or bottom Trenchtown?
Well, this was top Trenchtown, you know, because we were at the main road that ran from 13th Street right down to 1st Street. You hear Bob Marley sing about 1st Street and 2nd Street.
Yes.
Yeah, he was down at 2nd Street. I was way up at 13th Street. You understand?
Yeah.
When you step out of 1st Street, you were stepping on to Spanish Town Road. Across from Spanish Town Road would be Calvary Cemetery, you know, to give some people an idea who have an idea of the area, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And who did you grow up with in the area at that time there, even other musical people or prominent figures that you remember growing up with?
Toots and the Maytals. Yes.
Okay.
That was the first artist that I met as a youth, you know. And that was, I met him one night, you know, there was a nightlife store, you know, on West Road, you know, a late night cook shop kind of thing. That I was coming from there one night, and I was stopped by this man. I didn't know who he was, and he introduced himself to me. You know, youth man, I mean him Toots, you know. He would say, what? What? Yeah. And he say, yeah, man, I mean him Toots, man. I said, what? Yeah, man, oh, nice to meet you, man. And what, him say, buy a drawing over there, something. So the stuff wasn't that just an introduction.
Yeah. It was
for
send you to the shop.
You send me out as a little youth.
Was Alton, did you grow up with Alton Ellis and those, or he was?
No, I met all those people at Studio One. Mm-hmm. You know, when I went to Studio One, and I met all the other artists.
Yeah.
This was the only person I met outside of music. You know?
Got you. And were you interested in music at that time, or you're just happy to see him as a star at this time?
I was just happy to see him as a star. I was not involved in music. Mm-hmm. You know, even though I was singing a lot, because me and my mom on Sundays, growing up, like from I was like 8, 9, you know, on Sundays we would be doing a lot of duet songs. She would be doing the female part, and I would find all these things just easy to do, singing harmonies, you know, duet harmonies, and I really enjoy doing it too. But never knowing that it was a part of my future. I was there, you know, playing with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That even, she had a cook shop right at the front of our yard, you know, a little late night thing too. And I was standing on the piazza, and we had our first radio was like, I think they call Radio Fusion. That was the first radio set up it was a wired system. Wired from the station, you know, and the station now usually, because it was so early in the days of Jamaican music that most of the music was American music, you know. So an instrumental American music was being played. I was playing on the radio, and I subconsciously was standing outside there where there was a man that was buying stuff, you know, from my mom, and I was singing my own melody and my own lyrics to this instrumental song being played on the radio.
Yeah.
And the man looked at me and said, "But boy, oh, you know how to do that?" And that stuck in my mind from then till now. I'm still repeating it, you know.
So you didn't think, you just thought probably anybody could sing. You didn't really see it
I
as a
wasn't thinking
talent.
about music on the whole,
Yeah.
you know. It was just coming out of me like when a cup is full and is overflowing, you know, and you're watching that, you know, seeing that. But, you know, I had no musical intention.
Yeah.
But I was always singing and all of this, you know.
It was in you, but you weren't really paying it any mind. It
No,
was just
but
as a thing
a little
passing.
kid, you know.
Something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even school time now, what type of student were you? If you go back and ask any of your classmates, what type of student Leroy Sibbles was, what would they say?
Quiet, you know, very quiet, you know. And I was always like that, you know. Yeah, obedient, you know. And I never liked to be chastised or anything like that. So I try to keep my thing clean, you know. I never wanted no one to hit me, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, I always try to live, you know, but with the rules, you know, follow the rules, you know. That was me.
The book of rules?
There you go.
You understand? So then as we go down further, that song is going to make a lot of sense in your journey.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because you said you like to follow the book of rules.
Yeah, even though I did not write that song, but it was brought to me and I helped core. I was part of the writer. Core, you know, the idea came, you know, and my friend, he owned Barry Llewellyn, may he rest in peace. He had the first part of the song, he had the chorus, but he didn't have a second verse. So we sat together and we worked the song out. I came from Canada and went to Jamaica, you know, and we sat down with my acoustic guitar, which I always had since that was my best friend
Your
when I
guitar.
started music.
Okay, so then we're gonna keep book of.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep that
we're
in
not really
mind.
there yet.
Yes. Okay.
I know you're saying.
You're saying going through school, you were basically by yourself doing your thing. You weren't really too involved with anybody.
With a lot of friends and all of that. Even today. That's me, 'cause
Just
that's
keep
me.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Create your music. Create your thing. And
Even
keep
though I
going.
love people and what I'm aware of people too. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bob Marley said to only a friend know your secret and only him can reveal it.
I don't think people really understand how deep of a meaning that song really has.
Really is. You know what I'm
Especially
saying?
even like now, today, where people like to expose people and all that.
You know what I'm saying?
As you said,
Reality.
only your friend.
Know your secret. Can you imagine? And it's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. You won't reveal yourself to a stranger,
Yeah.
but you would to a friend.
And hopefully they won't reveal it to anybody else.
And usually they do. Because it's hard to keep secret.
Yeah.
The only man can keep a secret is you. Can keep your secret.
I like that.
Yes.
You understand?
Only you can keep your secret. Yeah, man.
What was your aspirations now growing up, going to school and stuff? Did you think you were going to come out to be a pilot? Were you noticing music at this time yet? Or what?
I had no dream of what I was going to be. Never, never, ever. Not that I can remember now. But even though from about 9, 10, I used to have this vision. And I've had it reoccurring vision. And that's not everybody has things like that. People get visions. But to have reoccurring vision is a rare
Something that
commodity.
it's telling you something.
Yes. Yes. From out of the mystics or wherever that is, there's a message coming to you. It's for you to really,
Understand what
Yes.
you're trying, what this message is, and what it's trying
it's
to
all
tell
about.
you.
It's telling you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And what was your message that you were getting?
Exactly. That's the question. Yes. I would be floating about the height of a telephone pole, and not flying either, just floating, almost station, yeah, and crowd would gather around and be pointing at me because this was some. Maybe if I took this music even more serious than I did, I'd maybe where I'm at right now, and how people are saying who I am, maybe I'll be twice or 3 times that in the business. But like I said, the person I am is always a easygoing, quiet, you know what I mean?
You don't really too push up.
No, and think about it too. That's why I know this is my destiny. Without a fact, I have never had a hard time trying to establish nothing within my music business. It was never hard. When we went to Coxon Studio, the day we went, we were accepted.
The day.
The same day. That's what I'm saying. So the destiny was there. Yes.
It's just you didn't know because you said the guitar at one point was your best friend.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I guess the guitar knew all your secrets and you would strum along and stuff. What made you even pick up a guitar in the first place?
Yeah, because when I started doing arc welding, my mom took me, like when I just left Kingston Senior School, my mom took me to, first place she took me was to a garage in Jonestown, and she had me, the guy accepted me there to be an apprentice, and one day I on my break time, I took his acetylene torch and some oil cans and start making some little cups and stuff out of. And when the guy come, he was so bad.
Yeah.
He turned me out of his place and he said, "No man, you know how much gas expensive. Acetylene gas and all that. They have fool around my thing. Go home."
You're not here to do work. You're here to fool around.
Yeah, but I wasn't really fooling around.
Yeah.
I was expressing my inner thoughts. you know.
It seems like you were always a creative person
That
from
is
jump.
it. That is it. From because I used to marvel them growing up to 9, 8, 9, 10. I I I I used to read a lot of comic books, and the first time I saw on book, right, on paper, um, a guy jumping out of a parachute, yeah, a soldier.
Yeah.
I made one, a small one, I made one, out of plastic, and with a lot of strings around it, like how a parachute looks, and at the end, I heaved it up and tied the cord end, and I took a small stone, roll it up, threw it in the air, and it opened,
Yeah.
you know?
The fact that your mind even allowed you to know what to do, how to make this thing that you've seen, that's amazing. That just goes back to your creative mind.
Exactly. And all of that stuff like that. We used to have a three-wheel thing that we sat on, and someone would push you. It had one wheel in the middle of in front, and an extended board on the front wheel there that you push it up forward or pull it for steering, right? When I made my first one from copying the others, I had to it, I put brakes. I had it brakes on the two back wheels.
Yeah.
I had cut two pieces of rubber tire, put on the back there, with spring tension and a lever. That when I pull the lever, it pulled up on the back wheel.
I'm not even going to ask you how you knew to do that in the first place.
Out of my head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's creativity at its best. So you were telling me how you got to the guitar.
Yes. So there was a little group formed now when I was a teenager, early teen, in my area, on my corner, I should say, in Trenchtown, and it consisted of a girl, another guy, and myself,
Okay, so Heptones was your second group that you were in?
Yes, definitely. This was my first encounter with a group. Yeah, and music too, because I was doing no music before. Yeah, well, me and my mom used to sing, all right, it's like that, But so this girl, her name was Claire. She was lead singer. I was a backup singer, and we practiced on harmonies and things. So the other two members of the Heptones, they came from a little area close by. Not my area exactly, but they came. So they heard about us, so they used to come over and jam with us and stuff. So we had an audition, me and my original group, the girl.
And what was the name of the original group?
I don't remember,
Okay.
but so we went to Two Creek Studio, and we did an audition. And we were accepted.
That's Duke Reed.
Duke Reed. And we were supposed to go back within a month or so time. But somehow whatever happened, but the group fell apart. While the group fell apart, Barry and Earl was always visiting. They came one night to me and said, there was this guy, this producer called Ken Lack. And he was seeking new acts, So I said, "Wow, that sounds good," So right away, I decided on writing 2 songs. I said, "We three can, we put this thing together." And the Earl came up with an idea, the name, the Heptones. I thought it was a good thing because when I break it down, I see in that name the Ep ones,
Okay, all right,
good.
All right, that's a good one.
To be happy, Ep being lively, lively people, lively music, Ep one. So as a Heptones, I said, okay, well, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
I wrote, that's when I started writing for the group right away. Wrote my first 2 songs. It was three songs actually, because I didn't even remember that there was another song that was released. I looked it up and saw another song.
But there was three of them that you guys
Yeah,
initially
but
released.
two was released.
Two was released, but you had
Original,
recorded
but
three.
yeah, it seems so because I heard another song that I had forgotten about.
Yeah.
So we were backed by the Scatterlights. And one of the songs was Gunmen Coming to Town. The other one was School Girls, because you needed two songs for a record back then because it's back to back.
It's on the 45, so one on one side, one on the next.
something on the next side too. So the two songs were released, at the set time.
And how did that do for the Heptones group at that time when those two were released?
Well, that brought us, closer together and more serious, because then we started. Because when the first time I heard the song though, that was my greatest thing, to hear myself on the radio, and I was most excited hearing the first time I heard that song on the radio.
So even if the song didn't do big, the excitement
yeah.
for you
Yeah.
was hearing it on the radio.
Definitely, and that gave us, that thing now to really get serious, So I started writing. I actually left my welding because that's what I was doing while I was doing all of this that I mentioned before. I was an apprentice and doing great at my apprentice place too, because I was in no time, like about 6 months, they started giving my own jobs to do.
Okay.
So that's how I was,
But this comes back to your creativity again.
Exactly.
This seems to be a recurring theme in your life, creativity.
That's my major thing, and that's what I proved when I went to Studio One too. Yeah. And I take you back to the welding too. There was a musical part in there too.
Okay.
Because there was a blacksmith, that I used to join to bend and make models of what do you call that, model designs for grills and gates and all of that. So he and I would be making those stuff. I would be on the sledgehammer, and he was very musical too.
Okay.
That man, and he was on the small hammer, that would be the shaping hammer, I would call that. So when I would be hitting the sledgehammer, it's like we would be, our combination would create the sound of Nyabingi music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I will boom, pa-bang, that was him. So the light sound would be him, right?
Yeah.
And the heavy sound is me. Boom, pa-bang, boom, pa-bang, bang, boom, pa-pa-pa-bang, boom, pang, pa-bang, boom. I'm telling you. So that was that part of it that I loved to do too. So I know the music was...
It was around,
Yeah, it was in me, Yeah. And I could feel it all the time,
Yeah.
And then, you see, it's all shaping up and putting me in a musical direction.
For sure.
Right through my life.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure. So you guys have these three songs recorded. Two got released on the 45.
Yes.
So then now did these songs lead you to Studio One?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because I started writing songs, and I even rented a room for rehearsal in Frenchtown.
Okay.
We went in a room from a man called Carrot, and I rented one Carrot room, and we started rehearsing. Now, when I was the only one not working anymore, I was working at home now, writing for these guys and arranging. That's how my arrangement became necessary and important when I went to Studio One. Because all of this pre-arranging for the Heptones, those harmonies, because every ooh and ah that those guys sang were my arrangements. I would prepare this like during the day, write a song, and work out all the parts. And when they come in at evening, I say, you sing this, sing it for them too, sing it for them. And, sorry, the one Earl Morgan, he's the one that was the hard head in the thing, when I gave Barry his part a couple of times, he would hold that and know that's his. But Earl was off key and not remembering, and he was you know,
It took some work.
more than some work, man.
Yeah.
You know, to make the Heptones. You know,
And with even arrangement, was it something where you were like listening to like probably the American music
no,
and
well,
understood?
oh yes, I should say yes, because that's what we grew up on.
Just like
Yes.
the radio
Having
station,
a
that's what they're
group
playing.
was because of Motown, black music. You know, I love to hear those earlier guys. You know, Curtis Mayfield and all of those kind of people. That's what, you know, caused me to want to be in a group.
Yeah. So you're
Because
just
I
trying to
love the
recreate
other
it your
sweet
style.
harmonies and all of those stuff. Yeah, but when I wrote my songs now, I would be creating my own harmonies so for my songs, because my songs wouldn't be like fully R&B. It would be my songs.
Yeah.
You know.
At this time, it was rock steady at this time because it
No,
wasn't.
no. It was more up tempo. You know, we started on a ska beat.
Yeah.
Our very first song, our very first album, the Freedom Line, I think, was more up tempo thing. Fatty album was more up tempo.
For that period of time, right there.
Yes, you know, and then we were right there in breaking it down to the Heptones on top style. You know, our first slow release was a song called "A Change." Can you imagine how coincidental this is? It's called "A Change Has Got to Come."
Yeah. Yeah. The first slow one was called A
Change
Change,
has got to come.
which changed things.
We was part of the change.
Yeah.
A lot of people take credit for the change. I would not do that, but I was part of the change.
Part of it.
I would say that.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's fair enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you went to Studio One, you went to Studio One as a group to sing. So how did you end up from a group wanting to sing to now being a part of the musicians in Studio One?
Yeah.
Where did that happen?
Yeah. They saw the talent in me that I didn't even see all that in myself. And Jackie Mittoo is one of the greatest keyboard player and musician that I've ever met, even today. You know?
Okay.
He saw my talent.
Yeah.
You know? He came to me one day. Actually, we go back a little bit because, you know, you got to set it, you know, put it in its right position too. The song we released, Fatty. He was the arranger. 'Cause he was arranger and, you know, coordinator and everything musically at that time, you know? Yeah. He was the one who put together. He was the head of music
Yeah.
back then.
At Studio One.
At Studio One. So he did the music for us for Fatty, right? So when Fatty was released, it was played on the radio for about 2 weeks, and they pulled it.
How come?
They said it's too suggestive because they have had lyrics like that before on the radio. So we were the first we were the first artists to put out a slackness joint, as they would call it today.
Yeah.
I need a fat girl tonight.
But you're
I'm
singing
in
it
the
nice
mood.
and
Of course, that's sweet. Yeah, it's all right now, you know. But back then, blasphemy.
times change a lot, man.
Yeah, I guess the church lick out the radio to stop playing.
Yeah.
But it had really broken out.
Because I think that was you guys' first hit now.
That's what made it. That's what made the Heptones.
Fatty.
And then the support to this song was the jukeboxes, because we didn't have a lot of sound systems and all them things
At this point here
I
now.
mean, yeah, in the early days back at that time, you know. But what we had, we had a lot of bars, every corner you could find. But even today, bars all over the city and all over Jamaica. And every bar had a jukebox because you needed music. When you drink a juice, you want to hear the music, you know? So there were a lot of jukeboxes. And a jukebox is busted.
So even though they pulled it off the radio after 2 weeks,
It was being
had
played.
caught
It
fire
was
already.
being played right through the whole of Jamaica
And them
every
jukebox
day,
are rush-
every
pushing.
minute
Yeah.
of the day. That song haunted me.
Yeah.
Like every turn when I was walking, I didn't have a car. I was still treading on my 2 feet at that stage of my life. And everywhere I walk, man, fatty, fatty. And I go around the corner, fatty, fatty. Up the road, fatty, fatty.
But now that you say it, and I think about it, I'm going to put myself back then.
Yeah.
I could understand where they could see the song is a
And
little
because-
suggestive at this time here.
And
now.
because of the controversy made it so special to everybody want to hear this song.
But
So
that's
that
when you try to
boss-
lock away things, people want to see what you're trying
Yes,
to lock away.
yes, of course. It draws more interest.
Yeah.
You know, so you understand that. So I fight the boss. But the radio now could not play it. So Jackie Mittoo with his smarts said, I'm going to do an instrument. I really didn't say it out about to himself, I would imagine, you know. So he did an instrumental called Ram Jam on the track. You hear it called?
Ram Jam.
Fatty Fatty.
Ram Jam.
You see? You understand? Yeah, and Ram Jam was #1. So it's like the Heptones made Jackie Mittoo too. You see, it's all falling in place.
Yeah.
You know?
And he was the one that encouraged you to start playing bass.
Yes, because he was a star now. He wasn't just a musician anymore. His name was on record like mine. Right? He wasn't just a musician anymore. Jackie Mittoo was a star. He had hit songs.
Yeah.
Right? It's singles. He made albums. So he had an album that he put out. I think the first album was Ride My Donkey, I think it was. And so he started to get gigs. Right? So there was a club called the Tit for Tat Club.
Yes.
You know? And he came to me. He got the gig to play on the weekends. So he came to me and said, Leroy, I have a drummer. I'm going to be playing keyboards. You know? But I do have a bass, man. So I say, so we're going to do Jack.
You don't know why you're telling me.
Yeah, we're telling me this. I've never touched a bass guitar in my life before this.
Yeah.
So you know what? I you know how to play a bass, please.
Yeah.
What? Play bass? I mean, I know what a bass guitar is, but I've never even touched that thing. I say, yeah, man. So the bass there coming in the studio now, you know, sitting. He's around the Hammond organ and a little small piano that he used, you know, for his lead sounds.
Yeah.
And the Hammond too. Oh no, I'm lying. The Hammond organ and a piano and a grand piano. 'Cause that's what they had there.
Yeah.
You know? And he had the 2 instruments. He's the first person I see do that too. Banging the riff on the piano and playing lead on the organ.
2 hands are moving at
Yeah,
simultaneously.
which when you check it wasn't an impossible act because you even on one instrument you'll be playing both hands, right? So after I really look at it, you know, yeah, but he's the first person.
You're seeing doing something so foreign to you.
Unusual,
This looks
yeah,
amazing.
definitely. Strange, but real. You know? So he said, these are the songs that we're going to be doing. And the guy was so great that on the Hammond organ, there used to be a bass pedal thing on it. You know, they play bass, foot bass. And you'll be playing the goddamn thing and playing the foot bass lines. And say, no, Jack, I really have to help you out. And I really, you know, got involved, learned the songs. Right then and there with him too, you know. About 3 days, we were in the studio together, and by the weekend, we were out there, man, and mashing up the place. And here comes a brand new bass player. And up to tell you, I don't see myself as a bass man, you know. I see myself as a bassline creator. Because a bass man,
So what's the difference between a bass man and a bassline creator?
yeah, a bass man plays with a band. You know? Yeah, he has a band and he plays on the road and he plays other people's songs. A bassline creator plays the songs that bassman plays.
Fair enough. Yeah. So because you're not in a band, so then you don't really see yourself. You are not a.
No, I was a
bass player.
studio bass creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys created the band, who were you guys backing on the road at this time here now?
I went on the road one time before I started doing all of this studio work. Um, just in that time, there was from England. Some promoters was promoting a cigarette, a new brand of cigarette
Okay.
called Embassy Kings, and they came to Jamaica and they wanted promotion on this new product. So Jackie Mittoo, Coxon, that's the owner of the studio. They went to him, and they made their decision on what they were gonna do and whatever. So I found myself with these new kids from uptown, from midtown.
Yeah.
You know, they were called the in crowds.
Yes.
You know, yeah. It consisted of Ricka Baca was the lead, was the guitarist. Phil Kalinda was the drummer. Robbie Lynn, keyboard player. You know, and someone else was playing bass at that time, but I did not know who.
Yeah.
You know, when I met those guys, they was without a bass player. I was the one who fell in there to play bass. You know, So they had Ken Booth as the lead singer because they needed a singer to up front that. And we went on the road. That's how I really knew Jamaica too.
Yeah.
Because we went every parish in Jamaica. We had a bus, a tour bus. And we did in every parishes we did all the theaters and outdoors that we could do promoting this cigarette. That's when we made 2 songs, recorded 2 songs. One was called the Embassy King, as a promotional song for the cigarette, and the other one was called Without Love, because they needed a song for the next side, like we always say, the 2 sides to everything. And that's how the record was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the in crowd.
Yes.
Ken Booth was the lead singer on the in crowd,
yeah,
and you were
because Ken
touring
Booth
Jamaica.
was established as a singer even more than the Heptones back then.
Yeah.
We went to the studio when Ken Booth had hit songs.
He already had hit songs
Yeah,
at
it
that
was
time.
really yeah. Actually, Ken Booth and the Gay Lads was another group. They were running Studio One at that time. They were the head people there. They're the ones who auditioned us. It was the Gay Lads who said, "Yeah, we like them."
Yeah. That's big right there. So you're doing your stuff. You toured Jamaica. This is how you knew Jamaica with
So
the in crowd and stuff.
So when that cigarette thing ended, we as a group, we were in the studio now, and we started recording. My first set of songs that I did was being run by Jackie Mittoo,
Okay.
and so my first bass line was for the Cables, Baby Why.
That was your first bass
My
line.
very first #1 bass line. Jackie Mittoo gave me that bass line. The next side was What Kind of World. That was my line.
Yeah.
I created that line, and both songs were big hit songs for the Cables.
So were you, while you're creating in studio, are you still concerned with Heptones, or you're trying to balance and juggle?
We had to balance the juggle, Yeah. And by the time I was doing all this bassline thing, the Heptones was already established. Because I remember we did Fighty and a whole lot of albums and stuff. Everything was being done. So I had more time now to be doing the studio work, because we had it really established as a group already. So I wouldn't have to be working so hard on that anymore. Okay. This was a new thing fell in my lap that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
Actually, when because that's how life works, the Gay Lads had left, because even before them, the Wailers had left. You know, actually, when I went there, I didn't meet the Wailers.
You didn't
Even
meet
though
them at this.
not Studio One. I didn't know them at Studio One. You know, I knew them walking down Trenchtown when they were leaving Studio One at daytime. The Shredder would be walking and Peter Tosh would be having the guitar playing and the other two would be singing. I remember one day they almost took me away
Yeah.
with music. Because when they were singing, I was walking behind and listening and found myself going, I said, no, man, turn back, Lee. You got too far. No, man. But how music was inside of me, and their sound is so sweet. It was such a sweet
Music.
sound, you know?
Music.
Bob and Lee and the other two doing harmonies. Yeah, man. A lot of kids would be walking behind them.
Yeah. You almost end up where you don't even know where you are.
Yeah, Bob Marley, son that put out this movie, never even know about all them part. Him should come to all we and had some real serious thing to this movie. To the movie.
Trenchtown man them.
They were the real thing to the movie, you know? Yeah, the movie they shot enough things, man. Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah.
Bob Marley and the Wailers walking down Trenchtown was like the Pied Piper.
Just
in that
people
story.
following.
Yes. I don't know if Mr. Adal things like that. Him don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Stuff
He should
like
have
that is
done
big.
more research and make it such a more positive thing. You know what I mean?
Especially if people around that knows the history
Yes,
and
that's
seen it
what
in
I'm
the first
talking
place.
about.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
People feel let down who know the real depth of the story. You know? But let's leave that alone. Let's go.
Got you. All right. You're doing all this work and stuff. What came first, the Book of Rules or the Full Up Rhythm? Which one did you do?
Full up, man.
Okay, so then let's go full up before we get to Book of Rules. Full up, because this is, from if I know the story correct, Full Up was a rhythm that was just existing. It wasn't even nothing, it wasn't a big hit or anything until the Mighty Diamonds decided to pick it
Yeah,
up.
but
It was just one of those.
it was a hit, though. It was a hit, but it wasn't a hit until that major hit, the Diamonds there put that.
Yeah.
And then the real major hit was when Musical Youth touched it.
Let's see.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But you see me, my creativity will outlast me, and it is much bigger than I am. You see? Because most of I played bass for Dennis Brown. Let's talk about bass lines now. I am on that No Man Is an Island album. Every song on that.
Every song.
Leroy Sibbles bass line. That's an album that you put on, you don't take off, you know.
From beginning
Every
to
song,
end was
every song.
classical.
You know, man. The John Holt, Rob and Cheat You album. That's one of the biggest Studio One album for John Holt. They will rob and cheat you. You know? Alton Ellis. Can I change my mind? Prop it up to them. The whole, I'm play of all of them thing there. You know? Horace and the most of Horace in this. 90% of Horace in the song. Even when I sing about Mr. Bass, and me and play the bass.
Listen, you skipped the question.
Okay. I'll take it back. Ask the question.
Well, we'll get to bass, but you give me the bass lines that you played on. Yeah.
You know? And these bass lines, no. Oh. Bass line like what I played for Wailing Souls. Right?
Yeah.
You know? And all of these bass lines for over 40 years, I've created, I've made Jamaicans, singers and players. And them, you grow up and you know the music. You know, you hear people all talk about Studio One music, Studio One bass line. And Leroy Sibbles, them I talk about, and no one didn't know. Because that was not advertised. That was like a hush hush.
You work in the back in the factory, we just push this out, and what you guys hear is what you hear. You don't know how it's baked, how it's created, or how it came around.
Who did what or who did, you know what I'm saying? You know? Hey, when I did that song for Wailing Souls, even from that time, over 40 odd years ago, right? And come down to Barry Salmon, take it up and said, pull up the vibes that you're playing, Leroy bassline. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Royce Shirley, I played a bass line for Royce Shirley, right? Called Freedom Blues.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. My youth hear it and said, we are living in a serious time.
Admiral Tibbet.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And many, 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 many.
But
man.
look how, okay, like even let's take for example, the Admiral Tibbet. That song came out probably, you created that bass line probably in the 60s, 70s.
Yes.
And that song came out in the 80s. So we're talking almost 20 years.
And during that time, all of the singers that are on Studio One bassline, most of them are my basslines. All the singers and DJs.
But look,
singers and
but
made
it's
the
still
career.
going
You know,
right
none of them
now.
come to me and say, Leroy, you know, say, oh, I forgive your preps, you know, because you make me a career, you know. What's name, Ja? What's his name, Ja something or another. He's one of them. Yeah, and say, oh, you make my career. My career started on your music.
But that's the thing. People like Studio One is a distinctive. So even though sometimes people mix up Studio One, Treasure Island,
With
stuff
Treasure
like
Island, yeah.
but
Two different
Studio
things,
One
yeah.
has a very, if you know music, it has a very distinctive sound.
Yes, of course. Yes. People who know the sound know the difference. As
There's
they
a
hear it.
difference.
Yes.
Casual listeners might mix it up, Treasure House,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
real music people know
Yes,
that there's a
know the
distinctive
big
sound.
difference.
Yeah, man. Another
And
bass
the
line,
big difference within the sound too.
but that's what it came down to,
Sound
was the
difference.
sound.
Yes, different.
Another big bass line that you worked on that went on for years and even created another big impact was Queen of the...
Queen of the Minstrel.
Yes.
Yeah. What's that girl called?
Jasmine
Jen
Sullivan.
Can you imagine? Can you?
Okay, did you know about that song before that song came around, or you just heard it one day?
I just heard it one day.
So, okay, so you weren't involved in the business of the business for that song.
No.
Yeah.
I lost out on that business too. People, you know who got paid for that? A guy who copied my bass line and played it over. That's who they paid.
This business boss. And that was a big, massive song, you know.
You can imagine?
So when they say you're the king of bassline when it comes to reggae, I really believe this because, again, your stuff went from, you'd hear the 60s, you hear 70s, you hear 80s, you hear 90s again,
And
2000s,
still
right now.
Right up to today. Because last year, late last year, I'm hearing new kids. There's a young girl, I forgot her name, you know, who she's singing Roots, and she's on our Studio One bassline, one of my bassline.
Crazy.
And it'll never end. That bassline that Freddie and this is that Morgan Heritage and all that those guys are on. Leroy Sibbles, the same bassline that I mentioned earlier too, you know, what kind of world are we living in? Yes.
Crazy.
From that time.
That is crazy.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
That song that he did, Can I Tell You How I Feel? You know my loving is real. That's a big
all of
song
that
too,
is,
you know.
and all
But
of
all
that
of
is
these
what's-
music are influenced from my bass lines. Not the rhythm, bass line.
reggae is drum and bass.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Drum and bass.
All of these music from that time were recognized by the bass line. People talk about bass line, they don't talk about the rhythm or the guitar. or
Bass line.
The bass line.
Yeah. When you're in a dance, a lot of times it punch out the bass
You're
line,
in
the sound come in.
You're in the presence of the king of the reggae bass lines. And I'm proud to say this.
Yeah. This hand right
Yes,
here.
I.
This hand
Yes, I.
is the one that played all.
And this big finger, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I brought it up earlier, a song here now. This is a very, very impactful song.
Yeah.
The Book of Rules.
Yes.
Okay. How
Then
did you
Leroy bass line again.
Okay, how did you even come up with this one here now?
Hey, and you know, so this is one of the most unusual bass line, apart from one that I did for Alton Ellis. There's a big bass line I did for Alton Ellis. Got, too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling. King Boom Coops, King Boom Coops, King Boom Dope. King Boom Coop. Some different style, you know what I mean?
Like you're experimenting, you're in your thing now.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you were saying again.
Book of Rules.
Yes. So I came and Barry introduced the song to me, and me being the guy who was always with my guitar, like I said, after those people left studio, I was involved. I was the one doing auditioning too. And me auditioned Burning Spear.
What?
He came there with another tall guy who was singing a one-man harmony. Yeah, and him drop him after a while too, like they always do.
Burning Spear, Bob.
Yes. And many others. Yeah, man. So Barry came to me with that because he know that I'm the guy for this. And tell me, what he has on the song. He had the chorus, and he had the first verse. Isn't it strange how princesses and kings, and I listened and then I worked it out on my guitar, the chord structure, which I usually do. And most of the songs in the studio one, I had my acoustic guitar with me there too.
Okay.
A singer would come in the studio, sing the song. I would find his key, work out the chord structure. Everyone would be sitting there. Other musicians would be waiting till I work that out. I would say, this is what we're going with, right? This is how we're going to do this. And then they would be putting on their polish stuff, their stuff. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have horns. Most of those horns are my horns. Those studio and horn section.
What?
That's your melodic. Those horns are.
Of course.
Harmonize, just like you're singing harmony in a group.
But the horns are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So most of these arrangements were mine. I was good on arrangements.
Yeah.
Ideas like crazy. I was flourishing with ideas. Yeah, man. And all the guys saw this and respected me for that and recognized that and waited for me to come with these ideas. Yeah, man. I loved what I was doing too.
Of course. Creativity is just flowing. You're just coming up with all these things and you're seeing that I came up with this thing, I played it, we put it out, it became a hit.
Yes.
Came up with this thing, we put it out, it became a hit. It just flowing.
And so it was so natural that I wasn't even thinking how great it was, how great. I just love to have the thing done.
Yeah, enjoying the moment.
And enjoying them. Touch me, man. But you said it. Enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And still is.
Yeah.
Give thanks.
100%.
Yes.
The reason why I even brought up that song there in particular.
I was still telling you on that. Yeah, sorry. But this time we left Studio One. Yeah. The Book of Rules was done for Harry J.
It's Harry J because that was your next home right after Studio One.
After Studio One. We went to Harry J's. Yeah. And we went in there, and what's it called? Harry Butler. He was on piano, and my good friend was on drums. I used with Errol, the drummer. I on bass and other musicians there, and that bass line just came to me. Wukuzuki song, Kawuki zigi song, Wagazaga wagazaga. Boom, boom, wagazaga, wagazaga, gung, gung, wagazaga, wagazaga, king, kung, room, skung, skung, one of the greatest bass lines in the history of reggae music.
Listen, and when you hear it, and what it was today, it just came to me because I've been listening to music, all your stuff, preparing for the interview.
Yeah.
Just today came, I said, yo, that song is in Rockers Boss.
Yes.
That song is in Rockers Boss.
Definitely.
How did that even come around to get that song in that movie there?
RJ is affiliated with Chris Blackwell because the album was done for Chris Blackwell. Ari was working with Chris Blackwell, so that was easy. Chris Blackwell owned the songs. Actually.
Yeah, you guys recorded at Harry J.
Yeah.
But then it was for a Chris Blackwell project.
Yes.
Yeah. No, because I said, yes, that song is in there. You know what I mean? And this was around the same time that song and that movie came out was when you were migrating to Canada?
Yes.
Around the same time.
Yes.
What made you decide to come to Canada of all places?
Yeah, well, sometimes you feel a little bit stagnated, you know, like it's not happening. Like you want to make a move. You want to do something different.
Even though you're coming up with all of these creative bass lines and
Yeah,
stuff?
but after a while, you're not seeing the kind of progress that you want to, you know, and it's almost like a standstill, and you don't want to be standing still, you know, you want to be moving, you know, and I guess it's a part of, you know, your destiny too, because I came to Canada and I did a lot of things for the music too, you know, yeah, even got under my belt the major Canadian music award.
Juno.
Exactly. So, you know, and then I made the music and a household name too. Yeah, we started rocking a place called the Bamboo Club. And oh my God, you know, we would pack that place every weekend, every night that we played there. And, you know, it was beautiful.
It was good.
And every kind of people were coming in there too.
Of course, because it was
Doctors, lawyers,
downtown
police
Toronto.
and thieves.
But why Canada though? Because there's England, there's States.
Oh.
But Canada.
Love brought me here, you know.
All right.
Yeah, because my ex-wife, you know, we were young kids and running around in Jamaica. Her mom picked her up and sent her here during just in time for me when I was traveling to England. You know, that was in '73. That's the time I can't. Certain dates I can't forget. That's when we went to, you know, first time I went to England.
Yeah.
You know, and we were corresponding, and I decided to stop here before going back. I was planning on staying here.
It wasn't. You didn't plan.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't a plan. When I came here, you know, I found her in such a situation too. It was cold as ice. And that wasn't so nice.
You came in the winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I came there, when I landed, I was wading in snow up to here. We don't see them snow no more.
No. Back then, that snow was terrible.
I'm telling you, snow up to here. You know, there people don't know snow no more. You know.
So you're there. So when you when you came, you didn't really decide to stay. But I guess once you decide, did you hit the ground running and start?
So I said I'll spend
clubs?
a few months with her and go back home until turned into a couple of years and still started going back home. You know, but got my papers too, so I was moving freely and you know. But I was always going. Like after about 3 years or so, I would be going back and forth, you know.
Because I know a lot of your recordings was, you did a lot recording here, but you did a lot of the hits were
Jamaica,
back then also.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because were you involved with a label named Micron?
Micron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a label you created or it was a...
No, that was a friend of mine, you know. I knew him from a guy called Pete Weston. We knew him. I knew him from back in Jamaica, you know. I just didn't go in, so I decided to do some work with him, you know. Yeah.
Because I know 2 of your albums, this is the first time I really seen a picture of you, was when, I'll describe this, I still have it in my mind, printed. You had on a beaver, them time you had your locks, you had your shirt buttoned down, ring on every finger, and a goal.
Yeah, around with the time.
Listen to me, that right there is how me personally, I remember Leroy Sibbles.
Yeah, that's a picture you have recorded. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because even then you had locks at that time.
Yeah.
When did Rastafari really come into your life?
Well, from I started music, because it was a Rasta man who gave me my first spliff, my first jar of weed. You know what I mean? Herb. He's the one who taught me to my first chord structure, my first do re mi fa sol la ti do on my acoustic guitar. You know, Jah Huntley. If he's alive, Hail Jah Huntley.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the one that really showed
rest
you
in peace.
Rastafari.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, man. He's the one who, the Rasta man. Yeah.
And you're dealing with
I will
Rastafari.
give praises to that Rasta man.
Yeah, man. Because even when you're up here now, I know you formed a band, and I think Glen Washington was in your band.
One at a time, too, yes. I'm the one who told Glenn that you can sing, you know, because I see it in you. Go sing some songs. He tells a story, too. Yeah. He said they showed me a car and in a car mark, and he said, you can have that, man. Let's go sing some tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll tell you. Never forget that. Mention me whenever you do an interview with him.
Yeah, 100%.
But I've heard him too.
Big you up for being in the
yes,
band.
man.
But I don't think it was a real long time. It was a short stint because he came up here not intentionally.
Yeah, we went to Detroit to do some shows.
Yes, that was it.
Exactly.
Yes.
There you go. You know, and he played with us there, and he played so well that I liked it. And so I introduced him to come to Toronto and come play some gigs with us. Yeah,
And what was the name of your band back then?
well, we had a group called Ital Groove at one time, and I'm remembering things too. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you know?
Back then. And because I know you, were you involved with the Canadian Music Awards at one point? Canadian Reggae Music Awards. Because I know you've won so many of them.
Jesus. We had awards like every time they I had so much, like I said.
What?
Yes. For this, that, everything I can think of. You know, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was big year too. And I also remember there was another part. Because before you won your Junos, there was like almost like a campaign the Canadian artists went on, especially the urban, to really highlight that Juno wasn't really highlighting them. It was a video. I remember a song in the video. It was you, Carla Marshall. It was like a group of you guys in this song that was really trying to highlight why Junos wasn't.
A big song we did, yes. Almost like We Are the World.
Yes, yes. To really push Juno to really recognize urban, which was the reggae and the hip hop music at that time there.
Yeah.
Because you were really instrumental. And then you went on to actually win the Juno. Yeah. Definitely. And how much time did you spend in Canada?
Quite a few years. Many years. Quite a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, I was always
Back
going
and
back
forth.
and forth. Yeah.
And what made you decide, okay, yeah, Canada's here, it was cool. What made you decide to move back now?
Same kind of thing too.
Yeah.
It started to get a little weird, and I was saying, you know that, back to my roots and culture. Yeah, man. I went back and couldn't believe it. Go back and just take over the thing again. Would you believe it by that time? Dennis Brown, Ken Booth, John Holt.
Yes.
The whole of them phrase will come out in front before on a stage before me.
That's how it was.
All of them want to come out before me. Because if I come out before them, them dead. As big as all them great stars was. Because I had a presence, I had a thing about me, a natural. I was born for this. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
You see me?
And it seems like a lot of your life.
Can you
is
imagine a
from-
man like Night Nurse?
Gregory Isaacs.
I tell them what people say they want me come out before him.
And this is Gregory Isaacs we're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? The whole of them at that time.
Well,
When I hit the stage, it done.
it's because I guess you have that catalog of music and you're still putting out music
Yeah,
and
it
you
wasn't just the music. It's your presence, your aura, your something more than just music. Because them have great music, come on.
100%.
What you
We're talking
talking
about great
Them man, they have some wicked tune. But make Leroy come out last.
Yeah.
For real.
And you were playing guitar on stage back then too?
I have no, I don't play no guitar. But you see that when I did my bass career, I wasn't even thinking about it anymore. It's such an establishment that I don't know what happened to me. I'm too simple-minded. It's lately I take up that and start to show the world. Say, that was me too, you know. For all who know, didn't know, which is most of you. I made that too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. When you went back to Jamaica, did you build your song then or you had your song from before?
I had
that?
my son from here. I went back and rebuilt it back down there.
What's the name of your song?
Melody One, man. Papa Melody in Canada, Melody One in Jamaica. I'm the reason we have a Foota Hype out there right
I
now.
you're jumping. You're
I saw
jumping
my
my
steer, man. I can't
Sure.
help
How did you meet Foota Hype to say, okay, this is who I want to play this song here now?
Yeah, man. I went in the ghetto called Cassava Piece. And that's where he was there with a little tin pan sound, you know. A little drum pan sound, yeah. But he was on top of it, man. I saw his talent, you know. And I had a big sound. So I brought him over and we worked for developing his talent over like 3, 4, 5 years. You know?
So long as you playing this
Of
song.
course, yeah, man. And I know this youth needed to go further. I personally put him in my car and took him over to meet Sharon Burke. I want him to elevate. You know? Really, I wanted him to elevate, not just him and the sound. But at that time, DJs were doing solo works now.
Solo.
Yeah, you know. When I took him to meet Sharon Burke, that's when he met Bounty Killer for the first time too. Personally met Bounty Killer. That's there and then.
So you bringing him to Sharon Burke, inadvertently, he met Bounty at the same time.
At the same time. And that's why they got together. And Sharon put him on something called Loaded, Fully Loaded.
Fully Loaded, yes.
Yeah. And then busted.
So was when Foota was on Fully Loaded, was he playing Melody One or he went as Foota Hype this time there?
He went there as Foota Hype. Yes.
From Melody One.
From Melody One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem to have an eye for talent and have an ear for sound and the voice to sing.
Yeah, right now I'm like a young kid. I've been working with him for about 3, close to 4 years now. You know, called Young Garvey. Very talented youth too. And the system has changed so much because he's a culture singer, you know, the culture youth and thing. And, you know, he's doing quite well and I'm close to bus, but him not bus yet. And but I love it. I got a break. Because if he break, a lot of things would come more that he has inside would be exposed.
Working with somebody like you, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
When? Yeah, man. So I keep telling him too, you know, keep doing your work. Right now, I have him out there doing a lot of local appearances as much as he can because that will help. Because what that has done, it has made him more confident, more a stage person right now. He's ready now more than even when I just met him. He's ready right now. You know?
Yeah.
So I hope he makes it because you can't predict this, you know.
That's one thing you've learned in this business over so many years.
Yeah, that's kind of, yes.
I want to talk about one of your most important awards, OD. All right?
Yes.
What did it feel like to receive this OD? And did you know that this was something you were going to get?
No, I didn't, but do it for the work that I have done, you know. I see myself bigger than OD, you know, because my work is bigger than any single individual in the history of music, Jamaican music. That's how I see it.
I was reading a book and they said that you were, I forgot the name of the book, they said that you were the greatest talent, overall talent in reggae music.
Yeah, because and it has been written from way back then that I am to the music as Bob Marley is to the lyrics.
It's just amazing to see what you've done.
So if there's
And so simple.
if there's a statue image of Bob Marley, there should be one of me down there too,
Right beside it.
right beside it,
Because of your contribution,
because of the contribution.
what you've done. It's no, I'm telling you, I still, you know what you need? You've ever thought about actually writing a book or putting together a real documentary?
Yeah, I tried that because I tried that and it doesn't reach to full perfection because my problem is time and dates. And on a book, you need more dating and more time.
But this is what sometimes you might need to work almost backwards. Put down the memories and the thoughts, and with the internet and all these stuff, we could research, come together with close dates and stuff. Just put down the thoughts.
Maybe I'm not collaborating with the right person.
Yeah, because the dates, because again, not everybody is good with a date, but from you put down certain thoughts and we could collaborate it with other things, then we could say, okay, it's approximately between 1973 to 1975. That way they could do it.
Yeah, a lot of people write books, because when they don't remember things, they had things to them things and all of that. That's not me. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the details, and I can't remember. And I don't want to create nothing. I want to state, not create.
Yeah, you're
You know
a
what I'm
creator.
saying?
You're a creator.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, you definitely, even if it's you have a recorder and you just jot down your thoughts.
I try
and your
all of
memories.
that. I try all of that, man.
Even if you don't write it, somebody will write it eventually. We need the thoughts and the mind of what's going on in somebody like a Mr. Leroy Sibbles.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm good. I don't worry about a book, because you see, the amount of interviews I have out there, my book is out there too.
Yeah.
Tell you.
You understand.
See, you have a few pages right now.
The book of rules, you know what I mean?
Here you go.
Listen,
There
you're
you
in
go.
Toronto right now,
Yeah.
which when I introduced you outside, I said, this is your welcome home. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to Toronto.
Oh,
What are you doing in Toronto right now? What are you doing in Toronto right now?
I'm
Why are
doing
you
right
right
now?
here? Yeah, why are you in Toronto now?
Right now, I'm here for a major performance on Sunday, Sunday evening, which is going to be great because I have a lot of fans, they're grown right now, Yeah, man, and I know they long to see me too. And their offsprings are willing, they're going to be dragging them. Come on, see Leroy, what you do?
You have generations of fans.
Yes.
Fans, their mothers, their grandmothers, great grandmothers, it's generations of fans.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the show that you're up here
This
for.
is the history they're going to be seeing, you know what I mean? So if you're interested in know your history, come and see me.
Yes, because the show is called The Legends of Studio
There
1,
you go.
Volume 1, featuring yourself,
Yes.
Mr. Horace Angie, and also Mr. Errol Duncan.
Exactly.
All right. You've done a lot, 'cause as you said, you've done a lot of work with
Is Errol Dunkley?
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to see him, he will tell you that I am the one who a man called Joe Gibbs used to call when I was a kid too, maybe a few years older than him, but to come and straighten out his music, his early music too, with my guitar.
Yeah.
I'm involved in this totally, from the beginning to now.
Yeah.
Because music will never end.
Yeah. You were telling me earlier, and I said we'll catch
All of
up.
them nuclear bomb the world, we're gonna find some
Yeah.
birds or something singing again.
Music.
Music will never end.
Can't. You were telling me about
When a
Mr.
door
Basie.
squeak,
Yeah.
it squeaks at a note, a certain musical note.
Anybody that's smart enough could take that squeak and turn it into an entire
That's another
song.
thing. You could keep squeaking that door and start singing.
You were telling me about Mr. Basie, Horace Handy. How did that song come around, Mr. Basie?
Well, I play a whole lot of this song, so I guess he sat home and wrote that song and come to me and I play doogie doogie doo boom boom diggy diggy zing goom goom gum diggy diggy. What's up, man? I'm going to
Exactly.
I don't want to believe you.
Let me big up your event that you're here for, which, as I said, which is Sunday, May 19th at the Eve Event Space, which features the Legends of Studio 1, which is with Mr. Leroy Sibbles, Mr. Horace Andy, and Mr. Errol Dunkley. Before you leave, leave something with the people why they should come out and see you this Sunday in Toronto, because you're a fan favorite. You understand, the people been loving you. You've been with the people. So why should they come out and come see you this Sunday at the Eve Event Space?
Well, we are of the era of clean music, where the music started. When you see me and people who even is just getting into music, you'll get a chance to see where it all started, and you'll be able to size it up to where it's at today. I'm part of the history of the music. So if you're interested in music on a whole, Not just reggae music too. You have to put this in your part of your system too, and know that this is what it is, right? So you're coming out and see us, because not just me, you know, Errol Dunkley, Horace Andy, yes, we have all contributed from the early days of the music. So you're coming out and we guarantee a great time with experience and history.
Mr. Sibbles,
Yes.
these hands.
Yes,
this
sir.
hand right here.
I
This
hit.
big thumb.
I hit. It's a hit hand.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I.
It means so much
Yes.
for you actually coming up. Big up Merciless Operation. They're doing it this Sunday, May 19th, inside the Eve event space, the Legends of Studio One, featuring Mr. Leroy Sibbles, Mr. Errol Dunkley, and also Horace Andy. Check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Muscle. Oh, you mean?
Yo, this is Sibbles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen.
Yes, sir.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.